Well, take two for this because I accidentally didn't hit the record button. I hit the start virtual camera button in OBS. So, welcome to episode 2 of Autobeam Modding for Dummies. This episode I'll be going over glow maps and light flares on an automation car. This video is going to have two parts, one being just glow maps, one being the car itself. For the flares, as you can see, everything lights up. So, let's get started. First thing you want to do, open up your mod and find your main J-beam. It's right here, because I accidentally did everything. I haven't closed anything like an idiot. Then you're going to find your main materials. It should be in here. This is an older car. To get you up to speed, there's two different types of automation cars. Modern day, old day. This one's a little bit older. If you're on a modern version of the car, process is virtually the same. You'll just find your materials there. It'll have the 5-digit ID name, materials.json. Go back to my car. Now, first thing you're going to do, copy this as a path. You're going to open Blender. Press A, delete. File, import, Collada. Take that, paste, enter, find your car DAE, open. Once again, modern exports are a little bit differently. Your DAE will be in the 5-digit ID, so you'll just copy this, because it's right there. You're going to hide anything that isn't the body. Select this, press tab, go into face select. Now, the way that I did this, because I wanted flares, is going to be a little bit differently. So, the rear indicator and the side indicators are two different materials. What you're going to want to do is there can be some artifacting if you're not careful, like this. What you're going to want to do is pick this, select, hide. That's the main car body gone. And because I have a backdrop behind the lights, I'm going to get rid of it as well. Now, I'm going to select my makeshift and then immediately deselect these, because I need those. But if you go into Beam, you can see I put a light behind the signal. You're going to want to get rid of those. So press delete, faces. Now that step only applies if you want flares. If it doesn't, then ignore that step. What you're going to want to do, Serial 21. Select, go into here, Control, plus hold click, let go of Control, let go of click. There you go. Now, find Material 21, assign. Go to here, select, find whatever that material is, should be 22, and assign. Now, export, Collada, find your mod, find your DAE, click it to overwrite it, export. Now, first thing you're going to notice, got rid of the artifacting, but that also doesn't light up anymore. There's one glow map out of the way. what you're going to want to do now is click that, find it, it's material 31. Go to your main materials and find material 31. You're going to want that step here in just a second, but you're going to want to go to here, find material 31, which is right here. That's the tail light, so you can leave it like it is. But if you go into Blender and select this, it's 32. We're going to go to 32, get rid of low beam, and change high beam to brake. Serial 33, this is the little center reverse. Go to here, get rid of the low beam, reverse. For the front, material 18, I want that to be the car's low beam, so I'll get rid of high beam. This is material 19, I want that to be the high beam, so once again, low beam is gone. Control S, go into beam, Control R. As you can see, everything now works, and the high beams work like that. Now, time for the fun part. Flares. In order to get this, you will need to export your automation car with every single light fixture as a headlight. Now, the way I do to back it up is there's a modern LED fixture that, in case I'm a little hesitant about the fixture that I used, I'll stick it behind it just so it spawns the flare. So, and you're going to want to make sure that these are different materials, otherwise you have a headache of where you have to essentially assign these to a different material, but to read the DDS of this, so that way they look the same, but they're different materials. And then you have to create a new material. It's a headache, ignore that process if you can. So just assign them to different materials, you can fix the issues with them in a minute. Now, this only applies to the people that want flares. If not, you can click off the video and, you know, be satisfied. Or you can stay, because there's a third step to getting your lights to looking good. First thing I do is I separate all of these. And then I go into beam, find out what light I want to be what. So this is negative 798. I'll set this to rear signal. It's positive, so it'll be signal underscore capital L. You have to have the capital or it won't work. This will be signal underscore capital R. What I like to do is just get rid of the color. If you get rid of the clutter, bada bing, bada boom, you just shrunk it by half. You want to press the two little slants like this. Beam will no longer read that. Now, we're going to go to here. Flare scale. I like to up that a little. Change the light brightness down to 2, light range to 5. For anything that isn't the headlights, I use 5205 as my light range, light brightness, flare scale. It's universal, it looks good on just about anything. Now, right here you can see light color, RGB. There's a website, I will link it into the description below, where you can color your flares and your glow maps to whatever you want. More on the glow maps in a minute. Right here is what you would copy, so you color whatever you want. You can see here, you can just drag the sliders and make whatever color. You would copy these three values into the respective RGB value. Leave A alone. That is from the pre-BeamNG PBR days. Now, what you're going to do here is find your next light. This will be negative 660. Right here. Leave it as rear light. Get rid of the clutter. Now, because this is a rear light, it will stay on low beam and high beam. A way that I like to do this: change the flare scale to 0.5 on both. So do not cross out high beam. You need it for this light in particular. Change the light brightness to 2 flat and light range. This way, whenever you turn on the high beams, the flare doesn't increase, the lights don't get brighter. It's a quick fix. What I am going to do, though, just for all the lights, so that way I don't have to constantly do it, is I'm going to go ahead and remove all the excess clutter, and then I'll cut to when I'm done. Okay, now that I'm back, I've gotten all the clutter you removed here. Now you can see it's all nice little 5-section pieces. Now, once you've done that, find your next light. 430. So, 430, right here. Change that to brake, go to low beam, brake, cross out high beam, and then change the other low beam to brake, and then cross out the other high beam. The reason I only cross out high beam is because it's there just in case you ever need to bring it back. You never know. I've had weird things in my beam modding, in my Autobeam modding career. Change the flare scale to 0.5. Light brightness to 2. Light range to 5. Then for the reverse, 134. Right here. Change that to reverse. Change both low beams. Cross out. And same. Once again, you can use the light color to color them whatever you want, as long as you do not touch the A value. Let's move over to here. This right here is the rear signal, because there's two different lights. You'll look for one that isn't labeled in here. So in this case, we don't have 933 because there's no flare. It was just the outer glow. So the inner light will be 911. So I'll change it to rear side signal. %of the time, negative will always be signal right. So you see, negative, positive, but down here you also have positive, negative. Sometimes they'll reverse, but negative is always signal right. Then signal left. Then cross out your high beam. Now, if you've probably asked yourself, why can't you just also set the high beam to whatever, then you get duplicate flares. You'll have 2 flares for the cost of 1. That can crush your frame rate if you're on a lower end computer. So I just cross it out and leave it. Next up on the list, find one that isn't labeled. So let's find the light right here. 822. Front side signal. Change that to signal underscore right, or R. Signal underscore L. Cross out. And fix this. Okay. Find the next one. So in this case it's 427. Then just front signal. And you get the idea. Set the flare scale. Okay, now this is where things are going to get a little complicated. As you can see, there's barely a difference in these. You have 6692258. 6692252. Now, the way that I'll determine them is I'll position my camera in front of the light. The highest light will be referring to this one, because they'll form a triangle. So down to the side, back up. So see, down to the side, back up. So right there, this one will start here, go up. This will be for the top light, this one down here. I'll do the top light first. This is 5.8. I'll go to here. Keep the low beam. Cross out the high beam, because I actually want the top lights to be the low beam of the car. So you can leave the low beam there. Cross out the high beam, go to here. And for these, I actually set it a little bit differently. I'll set the flare to 0.3. And then I will set the light brightness. Doesn't really matter what you set it to. If you want your car lights to be Jesus, they can. Then light range, I'll set to 50. 50 is pretty average for a car. Now down here, I want the high beam. So I'll cross out the low beam and leave the high beam. So flare scale, we can go back up to 0.5. Set this to 4.5 all around. And light range 80. Now, you could assign every flare, save, and refresh your car and check along the way, but since I've done this enough, I feel pretty confident I got it done in one run. So I'll Control S, hide the names so you can see the flares, Control R. And then you will run through all the lights. So there's flares for my right signal. There's flares for my left signal. You have the brake flares, which I managed to assign the wrong way around for the glow maps. Okay, so let's just fix this. So scroll back up. You'll find brake. Change that. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll just copy this, because I managed to get it the wrong way around. There you go. And then just remove the low beam, and then change that to brake. Because I managed to somehow get them in reverse. There you go. See, there's your brake lights, there's your reverse lights, then there's your tail lights. See, they don't get brighter. Then up front, your low beam, your high beam. Now, that is obviously not a color for a car like this. What you can do in the main material, if you find whatever light, your diffuse color will be for your baseline material. That will be the color it is by default. What you can do is make a color in here and take these values and replace the diffuse color. Then what you can do is find it, because there's different stages. So you have the baseline, when it's off, when it's on, and on intense. In this case, the emissive factor, whatever you set the diffuse to, I like to set it to the emissive factor as well. It's just nice and uniform, keeps it all looking the same. So you can color it that way using this. This website will be linked down below. But you can take whatever here and paste it into here. Just be sure to add the commas back. And then, once again, for the flares light color, you just take the RGB values from here. And that's the basics for making multicolored lights, or multifunctional lights on a automation car. Hope this tutorial helped, and I'll see you in the next episode.